You're watching ABC4 News.
We're continuing to follow the latest tonight on Category 5 Hurricane Melissa. It's the most powerful hurricane to ever hit the island of Jamaica.
The video here shows its lightning-packed eye spinning, producing winds above 170 miles an hour. That's about the same wind speed recorded during Hurricane Katrina's deadly onslaught. Tonight, officials with Jamaica's Meteorological Service warn cleanup efforts could be delayed because of anticipated heavy floods, landslides, and lots of blocked roads there.
And we heard from those officials earlier, Seth, just how serious they're expecting this to be.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are saying it could change the landscape of Jamaica forever.
Wow.
It's going to be bad. Now, unfortunately, it is tracking a little bit further west than anticipated, but unfortunately, like I mentioned earlier, the eastern side of a hurricane is the strongest side of a hurricane, so all of Jamaica is going to be impacted. But it's not looking like it's going to be impacting the capital city, which is some good news, but it is going to hit them pretty hard still. The water vapor here shows that defined eye. This is a pretty system, I've got to admit it, but it is also pretty destructive. Look at the eye there, dry air in between with the green that you see there is the moisture, and you could see it funneling that moisture from the Caribbean straight over into Kingston and the rest of the island. Over here, though, we have really dry skies. This is a time lapse from our Black Desert Sky Cam showing a beautiful sunset and not a single cloud in the sky. Now, because we don't have any clouds, that heat is not going to be able to be trapped near the surface and it'll escape into space, so those temperatures are going to be dropping pretty quickly. 32 degrees up in Logan, just hitting freezing. Ogden at 38. We were in the 30s in Salt Lake. We got a little bit of a bump in temperatures, but they'll fall again. 39 degrees in Provo. St. George, still fairly comfortable at 63 degrees. Now, we do have some freeze warnings we need to talk about. The eastern Uinta Basin, temperatures could fall as low as 20 degrees. Capitol Reef and vicinity as low as 30 degrees. So that is going to be dangerous for your sensitive crops, and outdoor plumbing could be damaged, so you want to make sure you take care of that. That expires at 9 a.m. Okay, let's take a look at the overnight hours. By midnight, Salt Lake should be dropping into the mid-30s, mostly clear skies. That'll hold on into the early morning hours, dropping into the low 30s by 5 a.m. Could be hitting freezing here in Salt Lake as well. And then we gradually start to warm up, 40 degrees by 10 a.m. with mostly clear skies. So it's going to be a very chilly start to the day. You do want to grab a jacket as you head on out. Temperatures are going to be in the 30s and 20s across the state, even a few teens. Evanston in the teens. We have a couple teens for the Wasatch back as well. St. George will bottom out at 45 degrees. Now let's take a closer look at some of those temperatures for tonight. Heber City is going to be getting cold tonight at 17 degrees, 20 degrees in Morgan, 22 in Park City, and a lot of places along the Wasatch Front in the 30s, and even 20s are going to be possible for some of those cities. So we do have this chilly air. We had a cold front get thrown our way, and with this northwestern flow, it is going to keep the chilly northern air locked into the region. High pressure begins to build by the middle of the week. But we do have our eye on a system that's going to be going to the north of us. This is a weak system, and it's not going to be holding a lot of moisture, so we're just going to see an increase in cloud coverage for the north, while the south stays fairly dry with that high pressure in place, but it clears on out quickly as high pressure builds again. And our Halloween is looking really nice, a little bit on the chilly side, but hey, you know what? If it's not raining, we're happy with that. And then that high pressure is going to remain in control as we get into the weekend. Regional forecast shows that we are going to be in the 50s for tomorrow, a few 60s down in southern Utah. Northern Utah will be below average, southern Utah right around average. Let's punch this in and break it down just a little more. Low 50s and a few upper 40s for the northern part of the state. Hazy conditions with these calm, clear skies and cold temperatures. Inversion is going to start to build. Yep, you heard me right. It is inversion season, so we do expect a little bit of haze for tomorrow. Central Utah looking at clear skies with temperatures in the 50s, and central Utah a mix of 50s and 60s, 74 degrees for St. George with an overnight low of 45. All right, let's take a look at the next 7 days in St. George. 70s, they're not going anywhere. 74 degrees for tomorrow, warming up a degree all the way through Thursday. 78 degrees on your Friday, that's Halloween. And Sunday, topping out at 80 degrees, and it is the end of daylight savings, so make sure to turn your clock backs at 2 a.m. on Sunday. Let's take a closer look at that Halloween forecast. As you're heading out, sunset's going to be at 6:24. Temperatures are going to be in the 50s, 70s, and 60s down in southern Utah, and we're looking at some pretty clear skies, so just make sure you're wearing a fairly warm outfit, but it's not looking too bad otherwise. The Wasatch Front does have those hazy skies for your Tuesday and into Wednesday. Mostly cloudy on your Wednesday as that system approaches us on the north end of the region. The breezy conditions are going to allow some mixing, which is going to mix that inversion layer out, clearing out by your Thursday. Temperatures warming up to the 60s by the close of the work week and into the weekend, finally warming back up to average.